Even the country's staunchest anti-nuclear activists will admit to you South Africa's only nuclear plant has a clean, solid safety record. But the alarm's been raised after an internal newsletter revealed this week that one technician allegedly cut a valve on Koeberg's Unit 1 reactor when they were meant to do so on Unit 2, currently down for maintenance. It's believed the move could have had, quote, devastating consequences, end quote. And the reported newsletter blames poor human error. So what does this say about Eskom's plans to extend Koeberg's lifespan? Renowned eco-activist Liziwe McDaid helped stop the notorious Russian nuclear deal that threatened to bankrupt South Africa. She also advises the group OUTA on energy matters, and McDaid's live on the line to discuss Koeberg with us now. Liziwe, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. This latest incident at Koeberg with someone cutting the wrong valve, should South Africans be worried?
I think South Africans should actually be extremely worried because, this is my reason, is we have a nuclear legacy. We have Koeberg and we have Nexa. And errors in power stations, such as we've seen in Medupi or others, are very minor compared to similar errors at Koeberg. Koeberg has always insisted that it is the safest power station, that nothing can go wrong. And I think what we have seen is a number of dots which are lining up. We saw, I think it was the end of last year or beginning of this year, Eskom admitted that they had staff shortages. Then we had the steam generator replacement project, which was approved by the regulator, but then when the contractors arrived on site, things were not ready. And if they had gone ahead, radioactive material would have been exposed to the air. Now we have a technical error, as it were, a human error where somebody cuts the wrong pipe. And not only that, they cut the pipe of a unit that is actually operating, which who knows what could have happened. The issue for me is, where is the national nuclear regulator? We're supposed to have a regulator, but unfortunately, this regulator the minister's just fired the civil society rep, and the regulator is dead silent. Why are we not seeing the regulator closing the power station? There should be people on site. They should be informing the public. They should be calling meetings. They should be telling us what's happening, and we should be able to trust that they have the situation under control. Instead, we found out through an internal letter at Eskom. That's not good enough. So we would be calling on the minister and the NNR to take this up urgently.
Yeah, I think what was worrying is that in that newsletter, it says that this is the second time that this has happened. This human error, do we know what caused that? Is this due to those staff shortages that you mentioned? Are people just overworked at Koeberg?
I don't know, but I would guess that you could be right on two accounts there. One, that people presumably are also under stress and overworking, as with everybody at the moment, trying to catch up on after COVID. And secondly, that if people are resigning and not being replaced because maybe Eskom doesn't have the funding, then we are going definitely down the wrong road, because tired people, people who are working overtime, people who are under stress because they're doing two people's jobs, are going to make mistakes. And this is quite a massive error, I believe.
Now, this plant is due to shut down in 2024. Government wants to extend its lifeline. Should Koeberg get the funds and have its lifeline extended? What's your take on that? Or should it just be decommissioned?
Well, the issue is whether it can run safely. Because we all know we need every megawatt we can get. But we can't have an unsafe nuclear plant. And these latest incidents start to point to, this is like having a 1970s car on the road, or a 1970s cell phone. Well, did we even have them in 1970? But this is an old, aging piece of technology which has got to have a lot done to it to get it up to scratch. And it sounds like the process of getting it up to scratch is already in trouble. So, I mean, I think as South Africans, we would rather have no Koeberg than something happened that has happened at Fukushima or Chernobyl. So from my perspective, this is looking dodgy, and I would like to see if our regulator is not doing its job, then maybe the minister must fire the whole board and put in some competent people.
What about the prospect of procuring more nuclear, Liziwe?
Well, I would certainly say that's a bad idea, and I would say it. As you know, I was involved in the previous nuclear deal, and what we found there, which was exposed at the Zondo Commission, is that the price quoted for this nuclear procurement was severely understated, I think by up to a third, by quoting the wrong dollar-rand exchanges and leaving out some costs. So I am, of course, then highly cynical about anybody who says we're going to do new nuclear and it's going to be cost effective. I seriously don't think so. And looking at what we've got at Koeberg at the moment, clearly our safety record is not good. And then the other question is, why would we do it? We need to rather be doing our energy planning regularly. And let's take the lid off the renewables. Let's give some money to innovation. And let's see what we can come up with. Maybe we can be world leaders in storage and renewables plus storage. You know, South Africans can be innovative. We can be world leaders in something new, rather than hanging out for these old technologies like nuclear and clean coal and fossils, all these other fossils that we seem to be reluctant to let go of.
All right, Liziwe, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Renowned eco-activist Liziwe McDaid, thank you for your time. ENCA has reached out to Eskom's chief nuclear officer to comment on the concerns raised. We're hoping to have that response soon. Up next on